Hello, everybody, and welcome to OpenExO Live, the first OpenExO Live for 2022. Happy New Year to everybody out there who's watching. We really believe that 2022 is going to be an awesome year in the EXO world, and so be on the lookout. And this week we have Nancy Stortoni, who is in Buenos Aires. And as you can see on the screen there's some amazing folks coming up in the next couple of weeks. And before we get Nancy up on screen, I do have a few comments from some community members that were sent through. So the first one comes from Karina, and she just said, Nancy is a Wonder Woman. She is strong and courageous. She loves new challenges, and she is always willing to help and collaborate to make a better world. I love working with her. Next, we have from Paco, and he said, Nancy is a great example of an abundance mindset, positive, constructive, dedicated, always growing and making others grow. She has a lot of energy that she uses in the elements, delivering value to each of her initiatives. She's both an explorer and a doer, a very dynamic personality, sharing generously her enthusiasm to make things happen, a natural-born exponential leader, hashtag big fan. We then have from Sahar, I met Nancy virtually in 2020 when she first joined the first Women for Impact Future of Work Sprint. Soon after that, we asked her to join the community as a co-creator. She became an active member of the Women for Impact community, leading initiatives in the LATAM region. Nancy always has a solution to challenges, and she's ready to jump in to help. I'm inspired by her enthusiasm and passion to make a difference. Then Renzo, he said Nancy has an innate ability to energize people to give their best, always positive, focused, and seeking solutions to the challenges that surround us. Her multicultural experience in Asia, Europe, and Latin America makes her particularly skilled in mentoring multicultural teams and grasping the cultural nuances that are so critical for success. Her corporate leadership experience allows her to understand and navigate intricate organizational networks, mentoring teams to create better solutions. And then last up, we have from Karina, Nancy is a great exponential woman. Since she joined OpenExO and became a consultant, she has not stopped helping people around and spreading our purpose. She is really making a great impact in the world, and especially in our common country, Argentina. Thanks so much, Nancy. You are a good example to follow. I hope we can work together to make an exponential Argentina with abundance and equality for all. And so with that, I want to just welcome Nancy to OpenExO Live. Nancy, how are you doing today?
Hello, great. So happy to see these comments. Makes me a little bit emotional. Very nice. Nice surprise. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. I do love to surprise guests with some messages from our community, and because it is the community that really makes what we're trying to do so special. And so I always start with that question. Can you tell us about yourself and a little bit of background, and then how you actually came to join the OpenExO community?
Sure. Well, first, Happy New Year to everyone that is in the community. I didn't have the occasion to see everyone. This is the first one in the year. Thanks, Corina, Karina, Renzo, Sahar, Paco. All of them were a great inspiration also for me in the community. So thank you so much for the kind words. And it just makes me think about this, how I joined the community. It was a little bit by hazard. I'm a curious person, so with lots of energy, as you see in the comments as well. In my 20s, 30s, when I was a little bit more younger, because I'm still young, I like to read, to get certified in everything, knows about all the tools, methodologies, And like this, in one of my trips, I went to a library and to take all the books. And I think at that time I was very into change management, a couple of years ago. I found Exponential Organizations book that I never heard about. I remember I couldn't finish, it's like Netflix. You start and I want to read the whole book, even if it's 400 pages. And after that, I came back from the holidays and I started doing some research. And I said, what is this? What is this OpenExO that is talking to me? I need to know these people. I want to know more. And, the magic of algorithms happen, and I start to get some, the sprint, the initiative, and then I got into the community like this way, and I couldn't stop. So it become part of my life.
Awesome. And you didn't mention too much that, but I know in one of the comments, Renzo mentioned that you've actually worked in multiple countries, right, around the world, and have had quite a lot of sort of very corporate experience, correct?
Yes, basically my whole life I was in corporate. I used to say, some people should know the story, but I always say my husband was the corporate and I have a lover. Every initiative on the side I was doing, practically I didn't sleep, because that's the next question that people usually ask me. How did you do both? Well, I think when you know what you want, you get energized by the initiative. So I when every initiative I say yes, even if it's 3 a.m. in the morning, Nancy, you cannot do it. I say, yes, I can. I think in my whole life, once I couldn't follow, that was with Corina, actually. I get so sick. It was long, and 4 a.m. and it was the COVID time, a very bad time. I couldn't follow that one. I say, okay, I'm dead. But after that, I have both, and I just quit the corporate life end of 2021. So it's a very fresh news.
Yes.
So I'm jumping to the empty world, but not empty, full of projects in mind.
Awesome. That's really great to hear. And obviously, one of the reasons for doing, such a, what some people might deem a risky move, is because you figured out what your massive transformative purpose is. Am I right?
Yes, you are. You don't know the whole story, but yes, you're right. Well, with OpenExO, with the EXO model and all the initiatives, you always have this in mind. Before that, I never heard about MTP or purpose, and now everyone is talking about this. But in the community, we are working with this for many years. Yes, I think I finally discovered what I want to do. So my purpose always has been unlock full potential people but I didn't know that it was to make an impact in the world or to do something for the world. So I think that finished I believe in this, and I know we can do something. I've been always I worked in my past life in human resources and organization, and it was just ideas, but you don't see anything come out. So here I see real outcomes, and that makes a huge difference. And I say, this is where I have to be, and this is what I want to do. So yes, it's part of my decision. On top of my husband is from Australia, and it was one of the main objectives to move. And also this community allow us to be wherever we want, which is great.
No, that's really awesome. And number one, I mean, that really hits home with me because it's so close to my personal MTP as well. I often say to people that the biggest problem we have in the world is that so many people don't reach their full potential, or don't even know what their full potential is, or how they can reach it. And if we can unlock that, then we can solve probably all the problems that there are in the world, right? Because at the end of the day, it is going to be people. Yes, technology is going to help us in the future and now, but it is people and decisions people make that will really make the biggest impact in the world.
Totally. Yes, and also we see that in corporation and also in the initiatives that there is a huge gap of what people want to do and are able to do, and what the leadership team knows what they can do, because many things are changing and a little bit obsolete, like career committees and, well, all the things that are very linear, and people, I've seen so many people leaving the company because someone didn't know what they can do. So also there is a change on that, right? And there is some way to change, and I think that's key, and how the EXO model can transform the cultural way in a very natural. It's not just forcing the other way around. It's just natural going, and I think that's the magic about this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think Salim said it a few times where he said, you know, he really believes that in the future, organizations will gather around purposes, around MTPs, and people who fit with those MTPs will then, you know, give value to those organizations. You know, whether it's full-time work or not, you know, that's yet to be seen. You know, the whole idea of work is changing as well. But I really do like that idea that, you know, you can find initiatives that really fit with your purpose, and that's where you can add value. And that might be in more than one sphere, right? Because some people have purposes that maybe have multiple parts, or they may have more than one. Which is something that I know, together with a bunch of community members, we've discussed before in the past as well.
Yeah. Yes, and also find that the organization is not about the positions, and people can choose where they fit, what you just mentioned, and we see with Salim in few conversations that the full potential in an organization is also about that, is that the people can fit with some part of the initiatives, and not always like a job post position, right? So I think that's also when we talk about full potential inside the organization, it's about this, and we also help people to understand what is this purpose. And I've been in some workshops of MTP, and people call me and say, "Oh, I quit my job," and I'm like, "Okay, well, how easily?" And especially in countries like Argentina, I would mention, because I know a little bit more.
Yes.
Like now we are we live in crisis. There's always something new, and people start to look at stability, and sometimes they prefer to stay in a job because it's safe, and it's not because they get up in the morning and say, I will do everything, but at least I'm safe. And they discover that there is some superficial things that they can do wherever they want, and it is something amazing when this happen. And I'm seeing this the whole year, and it was absolutely blowing my mind. It's incredible how people can be better and get up in the morning happy, and it changed the life. So yeah, very nice.
Absolutely. And so how would you say in the past year and a bit, how are you actually embracing sort of EXO thinking and the EXO model in your sort of daily life?
Well, I think as I say before, the main difference for me is that the ideas become something that change the world. That is something really really big for me. It's like it's something how an idea can be a business, or it could be a better life, and it's hands-on. So I've been in many, as I say, many certifications before. And it was just get the certificate and bye-bye, and you don't know what to do, and you start to say, okay, I will do this and try to put it. And here is, so I use in my daily life, even if I don't do the EXO model. At that time when I did the first certification, I think it was the first sprint, I did kind of 10 initiatives that no one knows in my team or in the leadership team, that I was using some initiatives in there, but it changed. It blows the results for everywhere. So it's like that with the thinking you can do everything. So how also I see many organizations talking about mindset and changing the mindset, and it's just theoretical. Here it's just happen. It's just I think it's the natural way to understand why, and don't stop asking why. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I see on LinkedIn, Marina and Marcela here just saying congrats, Nancy. So great to see this. And now, Nancy, you as you said, you spent a lot of time in corporate. What is your view on corporates actually implementing exponential thinking and embracing it? What does that actually take?
Well, I'm trying to be. It's just my opinion. No, I'm trying to be right with the words in English. Sorry.
Yes, no, I completely understand.
The main conclusion for me is like, first tackle the disruption. Like facing the disruption. Here also in South America we use a lot the word transformation. Like if it's kind of methodology or cultural thinking, but I think the big difference is that when they get into EXO, they understand what the disruption is, and they pass from being followers to be leaders. So once they understand that, because you see, we are changing the model of, and you say like, well, what is your model? So no, well, they start like, well, you see, okay, here when they understand disruption, they can put the feet on the earth and say, okay, here I am. This is happening to me. Either, as we always say, no, either you disrupt or you will be disrupted, and this is happen. And all of this you make in an easy way, natural way, and especially changing the way of thinking of the people, and make the cultural change very natural, saving time and of course cost. That is what most of the organizations are wonder. So I think these are the main topics for me.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, it's, so many corporates though get caught up in the way it's always been done. We speak about a corporate immune system that needs to be overcome, and we really have seen, through all the initiatives that have been run, throughout the community, multiple initiatives that have been run where we can actually break through that corporate immune system by just showing people what it means to have an exponential mindset. And what do you think are perhaps some of the EXO attributes maybe that are the ones that are more simple for corporates, or that they sort of start with? Do you have any views on that?
Well, I think the staff on demand today start to make a big relevance because of this flexibility and autonomy and all the changes that they need to, because today being in pandemic and everyone thinks it's digital and it's cool, But actually, I think this during the last years, that is a big change. Now we're lean because we're connected, and it's not about that. So I think they start with that part about giving people autonomy and realize that the talent are outside of the companies, and they can bring a huge value. And some talents that are inside the company also can add value in different positions. We see a few months ago with an organization how much money they spent to fight people because they thought there was not the right person, but it was maybe not the right person at this moment in that position. And so start to change in that. I think these are the three that I see during this year. I think because of the pandemic also, it changed the context, but are the most, when this purpose happen, they go through that easily. But it could be probably because of the scenario that we're facing now. We'll see in the coming months.
Absolutely. And I think that for me, I truly believe that the autonomy attribute is going to become more and more important, especially with younger people coming into the workplace, right? Who are going to expect more autonomy. But I was actually over the Christmas holidays having a chat with my father, and he's retired. But one question he'd always asked in his work life was, how come there's people who come to work and are don't do a very good job, but if you speak to them, you find out in their personal lives they're managing a sports club, or they're a pastor in their church, or they're doing all these amazing things, yet at work they don't seem to do very well. And my comment was, well, does it match with their purpose? Is it something that they care about? And generally, or do they have the autonomy to make decisions? And often the answer there is no. So, so those, I think, are some of the things that we really need to see being implemented, right? I think there's just so many people who are doing they're in the wrong job, right? And so it's hard for them to do well.
Well, I see last time an engagement employees report in some countries, especially in Asia, that is very low, and it is because of they feel safe and they have. And that's what wondering for me in Argentina is that because of the crisis and the safe people stay there, and they do all this potential is they're using outside. So finally, it's a problem for both of them, right? Yeah. So one is losing the talent, but the other one is losing their life probably. So when they discover that, it's a big change. So this is what I wish to see.
No, absolutely. So one question is, being part of this global community, how would you say it has sort of, I guess, shaped you or made you think differently in these past couple of years?
Well, as I started before, when I was younger, I want to certify in everything. So what I discovered with the community that I don't need to know everything. That is fine not to know. And it will be someone next to me that knows and will add value, because my life will be much easier. Just call Kevin. Kevin, can you give me a hand? And it's always someone. We just mentoring some initiatives. I know someone we're talking about crypto. I have no idea. So we jump on the community, and there will be always someone who knows and is ready to help. And I think that's awesome. If I knew that a couple of years ago, I will save some money, but also some time, because you want to use your time in things that you really want. So I think it's very important for me. And also, as I am a corporate person, I start very young to work in corporate. I need the social part and talk and have a team. And I think I feel part of that. Some people prefer to work on solo mode. And for me, that's great, because you can make the team that you wish. You get connections because of values, beliefs, but that's important to me, and also to learn to be able to accept the feedback. I remember the first sprint, it was, oh my gosh, they say that. They're like, very straight. Incorporate, you always find the right moment, the right person, and probably you don't talk because you cannot talk about this in the leadership team. You go out of the meeting room and then So what I love about this is that we say what we think because it gets part of the model, and I think that makes a big, what I see in the initiatives in organizations that make a big cultural change. Because when you get the people to talk, in organizations, you try to talk with the people that is always pleased, would say, oh, we're doing great, and everyone celebrate. But it's hard to find the negative feedback.
Yeah.
Not negative, I mean the opposite. Yeah. It's not always negative. So these are, for me, what I love about the community and how we all are connected on this.
Awesome, Nancy. Well, it's been a really great pleasure to chat to you this evening for me, this afternoon for you. As we say goodbye, what is that sort of one thing you'd like to share with the people who are watching as we end off today's call?
Well, probably there is some people from the community, people from outside of the community. So for the community, thank you. Keep going. That now will be our year. I have more time now, so my energy is more. And thank you, of course. And for the people that are outside of the community, join us, come. We're not selling here, but really it will change the life. Everyone here, if you're curious about, jump on the phone and we'll see. But the first thing is find your MTP, find this way to get up in the morning and be happy and do what you need to do. I think the MTP is perfect to start the 22.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nancy. Really great to chat to you. This has been postponed, I think, 3 times because you were so busy.
Yes.
So I'm really great so great to finally chat to you, and I'm sure we'll be chatting to you throughout the year. So have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for your time and your kindness.
Sure. Bye.
Beautiful. Bye.
So great chatting to Nancy. Wonderful way to start 2022. I couldn't agree more with what Nancy had to say there. If you don't have an MTP, now's the best time to get one going. So with that, thank you all, and we'll see you again next week.